Concern over the tragic effects of the new sedative thalidomide prompts President Kennedy at his press conference to call for stronger, better administered drug laws. He announces a staff increase for the FDA, whose Dr. Francis Kelsey kept it off the United States market. Asked about other safeguards, he replies,
The Food and Drug Administration have had nearly 200 people working on this. Every doctor, every hospital, every nurse has been notified. Every woman in this country, I think, must be aware that it's most important that they check their medicine cabinet and that they do not take this drug, that they turn it in. Every citizen, of course, should be aware of the hazards, and I'm sure they are. Now what we have to concern ourselves about is the first appreciation to Dr. Kelsey, who spared us this terrible human tragedy which has been visited on families in Germany, and to provide both administrative and legislative safeguards to lessen the chance of such action coming in this country again. Also, I think to see if we can assist our other countries in providing effective safeguards for their own citizens, because the interrelationship between them and us is very intimate.
The thalidomide tragedy, occurring between the late 50s and early 60s, was the beginning of a medical frontier that altered the way we work with medicine today. This breakthrough is all thanks to Dr. Francis Kelsey. Dr. Kelsey is the reason drugs are thoroughly tested today, making sure they are safe for distribution. She did this through opposing to license thalidomide in the U.S. until she got thorough research and testing done on the drug. She is a true pioneer to this medical breakthrough, saving thousands of possibly affected babies in the U.S. Prior to Dr. Francis Kelsey's movement, the drug thalidomide was originally meant to be a drug for pregnant women with morning sicknesses, colds, flus, etc. The drug actually was the cause of a limb difference epidemic that no one knew the reasoning behind. After discussing the matter with Dr. Neil Vargason, a professor working with and studying the drug today, he informed that the drug actually damages blood circulation in the body. So, while people thought the drug was helping with these pregnant women's sicknesses, it was actually cutting off blood circulation to the fetus. This resulted in either stopping the growth of a certain limb of the baby, or it caused a complete miscarriage to the baby. This was due to the lack of blood going to the baby, allowing it to grow properly.
Causes birth differences in chickens or fish or whatever, you can now ask the question, which bit of the drug causes those problems? Or is it all of them? And that led to a collaboration with Doug that is still ongoing today, and we discovered that it's only the action on the blood vessels by the drug that causes those problems. So the drug's ability to destroy blood vessels is what causes the birth differences in embryos. It is not the actions on the nervous system, it's not the actions on the immune system, and it isn't the actions on the inflammatory response. Because if we put those versions of the drug on embryos, they have no effect whatsoever. But if you put the actions of the drug that only affect the vessels, you get a range of birth differences which are very similar to what you would see in a human.
When thalidomide was in the U.S. being so-called clinically tested, Dr. Francis Kelsey was a medical officer for the FDA. She heard of the effects of thalidomide happening in other countries, and when it came to be her job to officially license the drug in the U.S., she withheld. She did this because she believed the drug hadn't been properly tested yet, and she had the poor effects of the drug coming from other countries. Being a woman in a male-dominant field, withholding the drug from being tested was a big deal, and she did it anyway. Due to this, she saved thousands of babies in the U.S. from being affected by the drug.
Probably the most underrated scientist of the 20th century, in my opinion. She died last year, I think. She was 101. A remarkable person. And she wasn't just a pioneer, she changed the way we test our drugs today. Now, I've got to be clear, Francis Kelsey prevented the licensing of thalidomide in the United States of America. And there's no doubt
It is because of Dr. Kelsey's discovery that in which pushed the Kefauver-Harris drug amendments to be passed, also which extended the FDA's authority today. She not only created the laws and standards we use today when passing drugs and licensing them, but she also saved thousands of potential thalidomide-affected babies in the U.S.